bring this to people's attention. This is from the Reform Party. As you can see, I've put fuck the Reform Party because they're an absolute joke of a party. But this is interesting. So, news: Reform UK councillor seeks criminal damages against a man who sprayed England flag on a roundabout. Reform councillor Carl Perks of Worcestershire has told the BBC he'll be pressing charges against the man who spray painted the roundabout. So this is it here, look. This is the roundabout he spray painted. Talk about completely misreading the room on the situation with the growing movement of Raise the Colours campaign that's spreading across the country. Trust it to be a Reform councillor who misreads the mood of the country completely in this situation. I also noticed that Nigel Farage has jumped on the Epping bandwagon since they've won their court case about the migrant hotel in their community. He's jumped on the bandwagon, even though this man wouldn't stand with those people, go down and lend his support to those people during the protests or anything like that. He will capitalise on the political gain that came from that ruling, saying it's a great victory for Epping, and obviously trying to insert himself into the situation, making people believe that, he's fully behind the people of Epping when, his party would describe these people as that lot and then not wanting anything to do with them. I want to talk about the so-called Black Studies professor that I covered in my video yesterday. The guy that wants to replace the Union flag with a more multicultural flag. And in his segment, he was saying that the Union flag and the St George's Cross represents racism in this country and all that kind of rubbish. But as many people brought up, and as I should have pointed out in the video, he screams racism. He screams that people are being discriminated against. Yet there he was on TV doing quite well for himself as a professor at a university. So it doesn't look like this country has been particularly unkind to him in his profession and has afforded him the ability to get to the status that he's at, regardless of what he says about racism and all this rubbish, because it's blatantly not true. Are there some racist people out there? Yes, of course there are. But the United Kingdom isn't inherently racist. We're a very, very tolerant society, as you can see, which has basically led us to the situation we're in right now. We've become tolerant of the intolerant, and we really need to learn as a people where to draw a line in the sand of tolerance, so the current situation we're in never ever happens again. And in no other country would the question of should we replace our flag to be more multicultural, in no other country would that question be asked. It's only in this country, it's only countries in the West that question can be asked. In no other country would immigrants be appeased by changing the culture of the country. It simply wouldn't happen. The idea of when you go to live in another country is that you go there to embrace the culture of the host country you're living in. You don't try and change it to your culture or change it to something different and disrespect your host nation. You don't do that. In most other countries, if you tried to do that, you'd be asked to leave or you would be deported. It's only in our countries that we're not allowed to be patriotic. We're not allowed to be proud of our culture. And that needs to change. That needs to change. And we are starting to see a change in that. The Raise the Colours campaign is just the beginning. We're seeing a new resurgence of pride in this nation and our country. And that's a good thing. This is Vindicator, signing off.